Hello, I have Paul Royce with me from Ontario, Canada. Paul, we have really an exciting issue to discuss today, accountability. And I really like that issue because for me, it's one of the most important things for effective teamwork. And I know how to work around accountability when I meet a team face to face, but how do we translate the issue of accountability to the virtual space?
One of the principal challenges of virtual team leaders is definitely in the area of accountability. However, it can also be a key performance differentiator if done effectively. Let's face it, accountability is challenging enough for team leaders of face-to-face teams, let alone virtual teams, which are much more widely geographically dispersed, and these challenges can actually be magnified. So what can you do as a team leader to promote an environment for accountability? Well, one of the first things you can do is set up a communication protocol. These are kind of like the ground rules of how you will communicate and do your work. An example of this would be timeliness. Say in North America, where the norm is to be 5 minutes early for a meeting, in other parts of the world, being 20 minutes late is perfectly acceptable. As long as you agree upon ahead of time how you're going to do things, you'll all be okay. Another thing you want to do is leverage technology as much as possible. Here I'm talking about project management software, time tracking software, file sharing software, and collaborative spaces in general. Another thing you want to do is early on in team formation is build trust. And I suggest using video conferencing as much as possible, since visual cues create empathy and trust. Another thing that you want to know is that a lot of times in virtual teams, members can feel disconnected or isolated. So you want to build kind of rhythm into your team. A good way of doing that is get some regularity. Make team meetings the same day and the same time each week. That'll give a little bit more predictability for team members and make them feel a little more comfortable and connected. Another thing you want to do is create clear roles and responsibilities for all your team members and get them involved early and in co-planning and co-creating realistic objectives. You also want to set up metrics, but it's important to base these metrics on the results and not time. And lastly, what you want to do is have regular check-ins with your team members. This will not only create an opportunity for feedback and coaching, but also help them with any difficulty you may be having at the time. But be careful not to overdo this, otherwise you'll be seen as a micromanager, or worse, convey a lack of trust.
Paul, is there one tip you can give to virtual leaders?
If I had to share just one tip, it would be to follow up each virtual meeting with something in writing, either by email, text, or in a shared virtual collaborative space, to share the details of key decisions, responsibilities, and timelines. That way, there's no room for confusion or misinterpretation.